to yet another exciting mental health news hour. Yay!
Oh, we're on. Yay! Okay. I'm with it. Is it nap time?
Are you excited? Are you ready? Are you willing?
No.
Are you able?
I'm able.
Are you there? Hello? Okay.
I'm awake.
Okay. So this little news item, this mental health news hour is for, I believe, August 2005.
Whoa.
And I am not a doctor, and she is not a doctor, and she's not a doctor or a welder or a glug maker.
Hey, I'm a glug maker.
It's a glug maker.
Well, it's a big thing that when you throw it in the water, it goes glug, 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 glug.
Yeah, I'm a glug
You
maker.
make those.
Yeah, I make them.
Or in your case, you don't make those.
Exactly.
Okay, the source for this
Stop,
particular
Papa. What do you
news
want from
bullet-
me?
Exactly.
The source for this particular news bullet is www.nim.nih.gov/medline+/.
Right.
So
What
this
he
is from
said.
Medline. This one is from Medline, and this is a public database for articles and research and discoveries and all kinds of cool crap about
Yeah,
mental health
cool
and
crap.
all things medical.
Exactly.
Okay. This particular one came from Reuters also, and the Journal of American College of
Reuters.
Cardiology.
Oh,
Reuters.
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 Oh, okay.
Or in Canada, it's Reuters.
That's funny.
Okay. A study led
Like
by
Reuters.
Dr. Edward P. Havranek
I worked
of
there one
Denver
time.
Health Medical Center in Colorado indicated that about 20% of people suffering from heart failure become clinically depressed. And 4 factors seem to increase the risk. Okay, 4.
Okay, if I had a heart attack, I'd be depressed too.
4. What?
If I had a heart attack, I'd be depressed too.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, the two are linked. Depression and,
Oh, yeah.
and heart problems are linked. You people with depression have heart problems generally at higher ratio, and people that have heart problems generally acquire depression at a higher ratio.
Sucks.
Yeah. Okay. So they examined social and demographic and clinical factors associated with the onset of depression in 245 heart failure patients who were not depressed to begin with. 21% developed symptoms of depression after 1 year. Comparatively, depressed patients are more likely to live alone, carry no medical insurance, have a history of alcohol abuse, and have much worse heart failure scores. Only 8% of the patients without those 4 risk factors develop significant symptoms of depression.
There's a hole in the wall.
Okay, among those, 15% became depressed. For those with 2 or 3 of the risk factors, 36 and 69% respectively, none of the patients had all 4 risk factors. Future studies are needed to evaluate whether intervention and prevention of depression and or treatment of depression
Ooh,
in
let's
those
do an intervention.
who screen positive
That'd be
will
fun.
I wanna
improve
do that.
outcomes.
That'd be
Havranek
good.
and his colleagues write, in the meantime, they urge doctors to be mindful of the high incidence of depressive symptoms and the risk factors for development of depression in patients with heart failure.
Can you do an intervention for someone who's like, has no life? We need to intervene. They have no life.
Okay, let's set one up for that puppet over there.
Okay.
Hey!
Story problem number 34. Uncle Sam has become a paranoid fascist bent on world domination through the creation of puppet governments in third world countries. Fascism is a complex idea. What are the necessary components for a successful fascist regime? A. Hyper-patriotism. B. Military infusion into all aspects of society. C. The mainstream media is very, very conservative. D. Children's military training camps. Yeah. E. A few men hold simultaneously key positions in government and the military industry. Yeah. F. The drive for spiritual and ethnic purity. Sound familiar? G. Popular religion echoes government and corporate ideals of duty, superiority, and paranoia. H. an underlying democracy that legitimizes the extremists. I, the majority of citizens, look the other way, ignore the lessons of history, and tolerate government secrecy. J, the advocacy of war as a cleansing policy. War's clean, isn't it? K, the police and military become one and the same. Police and military, one and the same. Okay. L, neutrality is not allowed. Think about that one. M, vast amounts of blatant propaganda through the media. And all of the above. And I do mean all. So think about those ones. Maybe I'll replay them just for fun.
Well, yeah, I was kind of talking about me, but whatever.
Intervention should be for someone who is doing at-risk behavior.
What about being
Hey,
bitchy?
you know what? Having no life is very at risk. It's at risk of having non-married and even more
There's
having
the
no
audience
life.
again!
And then you get bored, and then you cause trouble because you have no life. That's where computer viruses come from.
Well, only ones with
And
the name
stockings and
Melissa.
Exactly. Stockings, yeah.
Actually, stalking is aberrant behavior.
Hey, if I have no life, I'm gonna stalk someone.
Yeah,
How
it's,
you doing,
it's not a
Dan?
no life thing. It's like obsessive compulsive, and it's
I'm not obsessive.
She's compulsive!
I'm not compulsive.
okay.
She's a yeller!
So
She's a screamer, Dan!
You should have a referee for an intervention, and if you're doing something really
Don't talk about my
screwy,
personal
you
life
should
like
be
that.
intervened.
Yeah, anyway.
That's where everyone that loves
And I
you
know
very
from
much,
personal experience,
they
Dan.
tell you what your screwy behavior is doing to you. And it's not fault finding or blame or anything. There's rules to these things.
I don't
and
want
they're
an
very
intervention.
interesting.
I changed my mind. Okay.
We heard everything you said, just don't ask us to repeat it.
Yeah, we heard you.
Okay. This one is from the General Archives of General Psychiatry by way of Comtex, whatever the hell that is. And this is from
Cotex? What?
Yeah. Yes.
We know what those are. Those are fun to play with. You know, you like fling them and with the little. Never mind.
Just smack the bottom of it and it goes flying out!
Yeah.
I love doing that!
That's an interesting thing to joke about, isn't it? Okay, this
We can do
this one
that
is
if we
from-
want to.
Well, yeah, you can, but
Yeah.
if I do it, then I'll be
It'd be wrong. We'd have to smack you.
bad
Committed?
person.
We'd beat
Okay.
you
I admit
up.
it.
Okay, this one is from January
Be a soft
of this
puppet
year,
beating
2005.
man.
Okay. A team from
Exactly.
Columbia University Medical
Shit,
Center
I'm
and the
telling you.
New York State Psychiatric Institute say nearly 60% of the children
I gotta
whose
go.
parents and grandparents were depressed have a psychiatric disorder before their early teens.
Wow.
The team studied 47 first-generation family members in 1982. Then they interviewed 86 of the children several times as they grew into adulthood. The team also has collected data from 161 members of the third generation whose average age is 12 years old. Most of the prepubescent
Yeah.
grandchildren with a two-generation history of depression developed anxiety disorders that developed into depression as they aged into adolescence. This trend was also found when the researchers previously followed the children's parents through adolescence and adulthood.
What a shock!
So,
And I read that. It says, what a shock.
so just remember that 60% was
What a shock!
appeared to be genetic.
It's in blue right there,
What?
Dad. What a shock!
What's a
I'm
shock?
shocked that you saw that!
But this is a different news
It's in
bulletin.
another text in
Yes,
another
it's a different
color.
news bulletin. Okay,
stuck
the whole
out.
idea is, okay,
Ooh, you see how that?
if someone is really depressed, if you're around depressed people all the time, do you think that might influence whether or not you have depression?
Yes.
It's contagious.
Well,
Not really.
people
Well,
that
if you're
are
around
negative and
depressed
angry
people
and depressed,
yeah, I become that way
you
too.
have to account for not just nurture, but nature.
But what if you try
nature
to
and
cheer them
nurture.
up and then they're cheery around you? So then you're not depressed.
Well, that
See?
would be good
So
then.
then that would work.
That
So
would
not
be
all
good.
the time.
Yes.
Somebody told me once that it was contagious.
Depression?
Yeah.
Laughter is a contagious thing.
I don't believe that though.
See,
Eh.
clinical depression I don't think is contagious, but
Everyone
you
gets
can,
depressed though.
well, yeah, you can pass gloopy around. You can be all gloopy and,
I'm gloopy
oh, by
today.
the way, the
It's like an
government is
STD.
cutting Medicaid. Oh, by the way, the government is cutting housing for low income. Oh, by the way, the government
like,
is cutting Medicare
cutting
benefits
jobs.
for low income. Oh, by the way, yeah, that's depressing
Yeah, cutting jobs.
because our government
Not
hates
paying us
poor
very
people.
much money.
Poor disabled people mostly. They really
Poor
hate them.
working class.
Well, no, just to
I-
poor. Yeah, they keep cutting benefits to the poorest and most disabled
They
people.
do to the working class too.
Yeah, but at least they're working.
Yeah.
Well, that's how they keep afloat.
Actually,
Well-
they're not. Less and less are.
No.
More and more people are
I
becoming
tried.
poor. Isn't that depressing?
Well,
See
if
how
you're working
contagious
class,
that
you're
is?
still poor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're the working class poor.
Yeah,
I mean,
working poor.
I can
Working
afford
poor.
food
Yeah,
and bills, and that's it.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. Okay, this is the Journal of Biological Chemistry, and it's also by way of Comtex, whatever the hell that is.
Kotex.
Yes.
We went
by
through
way
this
of
already.
Kotex.
Yeah. You fling 'em.
A large news device that
News device.
soaks up information.
What a shock!
Yeah.
I read that.
Exactly.
Okay, this
we
one is
know.
from December of 04. A component of spice used for thousands of years, curry, which may not be accurate. Curry was kind of invented
Curry, like you put in chicken.
in conjunction with the British rule in India.
Yeah. What?
Curry chicken.
There are components of curry that
Alright,
have been
what's
used.
your
Curry itself is relatively new as far
Well,
as I
now I'm
understand.
hungry.
Okay, it may be a powerful new weapon for fighting Alzheimer's disease, researchers say.
I had eggs.
Okay, curry. How many of you have tried curry?
Ah, no,
curry
chicken.
rice,
Chicken.
curry chicken, curry chicken.
I don't
Have
do
you had curry?
No,
rice.
no.
It tastes like
I've had
food.
free candy.
Have you ever come over and eaten my fried chicken?
No.
Yes.
There's curry in it.
There's
I
curry.
do it with curry. Curry's good.
Yeah.
Yes, pad thai is. I believe there's a little curry in that.
So what's
you get
curry
a chance,
do?
Curry.
Yeah.
Well, curry has like 4 or 5
For
different
Alzheimer's, huh?
spices in it. Yeah,
Interesting.
and
That sounds good.
researcher from
Can you make us some chicken?
UCLA and the VA said
Curry.
their study of cumin, which is a
Cumin.
major cumin. Cumin is a major spice in
Yeah.
cumin. The yellow pigment in curry,
Not Cuban. Cumin.
cumin, broke up and helped block accumulation of beta amyloid
Gee.
plaques in rats' brains.
I have a beta.
Apparently, curcumin, which is
I have a
the
beta.
active chemical in cumin, is more effective in stopping the protein fragments from forming than many other drugs being tested to treat the disease. The current
Yeah.
one that they got on the market that they've been advertising like crazy, I mean, I'm not a doctor or much of an authority, but oh, what I've heard, that what it doesn't do. Curcumin has been used
Jesus, she's having a seizure.
as a safe anti-inflammatory in Indian traditional medicine.
What do you even care?
The team suggested human trials of curcumin
Yes.
to establish safe and effective doses. Okay,
Don't mean to me. I'm not loved.
okay.
Ew.
Curcumin or cumin
If I had a tongue, I'd
is
stick it
cheap.
out at you.
Okay, it's cheap, and you can
Had a
add
hand, I'd
cumin
flip
to
you
all kinds of foods
had a
that
foot, I'd
you cook.
boot you with
You
it.
can throw cumin in your chicken when you're making fried chicken.
I had a bottom,
You
I'd
can
boot
add
you.
cumin onto spices and stuff. You can throw it in gravies. Cumin
Why
doesn't
would I
taste.
have cumin?
Cumin doesn't taste like curry. Curry has a few other things in there to give it a flavor. Cumin
Yes.
is actually a really yummy flavor, and you can add it to all kinds of other things.
Let's go,
The
Emerald.
only problem is that
Exactly.
Hello.
big fat frickin' ass pharmaceutical companies
Whoa!
are
Potty mouth!
they're not making
get the money jar. Here's
billions,
some money now.
billions, and I do mean billions of dollars off of people, and so
He said
they're
a
not
potty
going to
word.
support any
He said a
research.
potty
So
word.
there'll be a little. There'll be a little bit of research by the
Potty,
government,
potty,
a few hundred
potty.
people. But I would suggest if you're having memory problems,
Yeah.
eat some curry.
Potty mouth. Potty
But
mouth.
you should talk to your doctor first.
Yeah, you should talk to your doctor about everything.
Doctor, can I eat some curry? Yes, you may. Okay, thank you.
There you go.
I don't ask my doctor to eat ho-hos.
What do you think of them apples?
Oh, you better go ask your doctor.
Okay, story problem number 38. Raising the misery level of people at or below the poverty level is not an easy task for the president. Which combination of 3 items below or following will be sufficient to increase the suffering by 367%? A. Reduce Social Security to those 55 years and younger, equaling a misery index of 12%. B. Reduce overall Medicaid payouts by 5%, increasing the misery index of the poor to 73%. C. Eliminate Medicare to several subclasses of otherwise eligible populations, raising the misery index by 11%. D. Reduce food stamps overall by 8%, increasing the misery index by about 69%. E. Reduce oversight regulation of energy corporations, which respond by gouging consumers, yielding a misery index of 43% for the middle class and 184% for the low-income people. F. Do nothing while the companies raise prices, creating an overall misery index of 91%. And a frustration quotient of 76%. G. Lie and use the confusing Bush speak when questioned, lowering the trust rate by 17 degrees. H. Go on vacation again, reaching disappointment level number 9.
Why don't you ask him? He's got apples for eyes.
Yes, I shall drink my
The apple
yellow
of my
liquid
eye.
now.
Oh my gosh, that was my urine. What are you doing, Dan?
Puppies don't have pee. They can't pee.
Kind of
yeah,
sweet.
huh?
You have diabetes.
Oh, said something
God,
else.
ew.
That's nasty.
Disgusting.
Okay.
Sweet pea has
Yeah, sweet pea.
sweet pea. Nasty.
Now you know where that
Ew,
came
Dan.
from. Yeah, that's nasty.
Yeah, that's
So
disgusting. We're
let's
moving on.
let's move right along.
Yeah. I
Okay.
should platform. Oh, darn.
Okay, February.
that?
This is February 2005. Fighting more corporate
Suck up.
evil. Over.
Suck up.
Ooh, that feels enlightening.
Yeah, I'm a little
Okay,
girl.
over 20 social justice and advocacy groups
Freaks.
and Senator Patrick Leahy, he's a good guy, unite to
NASA.
fight corporate swindling known as binding mandatory arbitration clauses, also known as BMACs.
BMAX.
Okay, you really need this is
okay.
really important. This is not necessarily mental health. This
As
is
we were.
big corporate mofos screwing you.
I don't want to be
No,
screwed
I'm
by
not
a
being
corporation.
Okay, these
Or mofo.
BMACs, binding mandatory
It's
arbitration
been a long
clauses.
time for that, Dan.
They are paragraphs that are buried in the fine print of most contracts where consumer signers waive their rights to access to the courts. Okay? You know how like if you buy a product and
Oh,
it's
there's
a
a
piece
Big
of
Mac.
and it's a piece of crap,
BMAX.
you can
Big
sue
Mac.
the company for
Exactly.
selling you a piece of crap and not telling you that it was crap.
Yeah.
Well, BMAX don't let you do that. And if you buy something and you have to sign
Yeah.
anything from used cars to software, whatever, they will throw BMAX in there, okay? Binding mandatory arbitration clauses, okay? The groups issued a platform, this is like a whole bunch of groups got together to do this. 2 websites, a call for reform legislation and help consumers boycott corporations that use BMAX, or binding mandatory arbitration clauses.
Big Macs.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
found in
Big Mac.
credit card agreements, health insurance plans, employee contracts, purchase transactions, and so on and so forth. They're little things that you sign in order to get a product or service. Okay? BMAX force consumers into private legal system that often sides with the companies. That's because
Yes.
the companies use them a lot, and so they want to side with them because the companies will give more
Trying to eat the
business.
whole
This is Green Bean. Green Bean has a mental illness. Mental illness is caused by genetic factors, compounded by environmental triggers, and exacerbated by stressors. Green Bean is looking calm and relaxed. A little too calm and relaxed, perhaps. Say, Green Bean, what are you up to?
I'm so tired and dizzy and thirsty. My heart races and I have to pee every 10 minutes and...
Whoa there, Green Bean. Just what medications are you taking anyway?
Mutamatic and Tranquilump and Crazebagon and Flatendol and...
Gosh, Green Bean, no wonder you can't function. Say, how did all this happen?
I was writing a manifesto that would save mankind. I thought I was receiving thoughts from all the super scientists around the world. I thought that when I made everyone read it, they would understand each other perfectly, and the world would be saved from imminent doom.
Why, you were acutely manic and hallucinating. You were having a doozy of a time distinguishing reality and were severely lacking in critical insight that you needed to function.
Gee whiz, I sure was. It's a good thing my friends made an intervention phone call. I don't know how long all that would have lasted.
Golly, Green Bean, how long were you involuntarily detained in the hospital psychiatric wing?
Oh, for months. I lost most of my rights and freedoms and had no control over what happened to me. I saw a psychiatrist that gave me a lot of medications. The doctor finally offered a treatment that he said might cure me or at least help me go home sooner. It's called electroconvulsive therapy. Golly, at that point, I was willing to sign anything to get out of there. After a month of shock treatment, he discharged me, prescribed more medications, and wished me good luck.
Say, I have an idea. Have you ever heard of a Mental Health Advance Directive?
No, what's that?
Well, Green Bean, it's a document that you can create yourself that tells the hospital staff how you want to be treated. Like what medications help and which ones don't, and whether or not you want more shock treatment. Things like that.
Oh golly, that shock treatment was awful. It didn't help, and they kept telling me I needed more treatments and more medication.
You know, Green Bean, that is exactly why an advance directive is so important. It speaks for you when you're not doing so well. Say, would you like to fill one out?
Yeah.
Well, first you need an introduction page with a title that looks something like this. Next you will need a table of contents listing the main sections of your advance directive. The first section is your address and phone number. Section 2 says when your advance directive becomes active. Section 3 tells them how long it is good for. Section 4 defines when and where you cancel your directive. Section 5 states who has copies of your directive. This should be people you trust or someone like an advocate or your case manager. Section 6 tells the hospital staff who to contact in case of emergency. Section 7 is your crisis plan. It's critical for you to describe what hospital staff should do when you are freaked out or really suicidal. It might help you avoid being tackled by a 200-pound gorilla with pepper spray. Section 8 tells the doctors what you have been diagnosed with, which is good because the doctor can get a sense of your history. Section 9 tells the doctor what medications or supplements you are currently taking. This is critical since many medications and herbal remedies can strongly interact with other medications. So list them all. Section 10 tells the doctor what medications you've taken at one time or another in the past. He or she can get a better understanding of what worked for you and what didn't. Section 11 specifies what medications that you refuse to take. You should list the reasons why, whether it's an allergy or unbearable side effects, and you shouldn't use this area to eliminate the possibility of trying something new that might really be helpful. Section 12 asks about current medical conditions. It's important to list any other diagnoses you might have because they definitely affect your mental health. Section 13 asks about electroconvulsive therapy. You should be very clear about your wishes on this subject. Section 14 is the area where you list your current healthcare providers. Section 15 tells the hospital staff who is not helpful or safe to contact. Section 16 tells them who should not be visiting. Even well-intentioned people can cause harm when you are vulnerable. Section 17 will tell a mental health official which hospitals or treatment agencies can help you and which ones don't. Section 18 says what people to notify immediately. It's good for the hospital staff to know that friends and family will be there for you. Section 19 identifies children or pets that may suffer due to your absence. You should have a plan that deals with that sort of thing. Section 20 is the section where you can add anything that you think is relevant, which couldn't be said elsewhere. Section 21 is the formal legal statement that talks about guardianship, blank spots, and revocations, and has your signature. Section 22 is the witness signature spot. Find people that are not close relatives, lovers, or direct caregivers for best results. Section 23 is where your case manager, counselor, or therapist reads and signs, with a little room for commentary. Section 24 is the place where your doctor signs, attesting to your competency to create the advance directive in the first place. If your doctor recommends changes, you should seriously consider them. Section 25 is the last section, where you have the option of revoking the whole thing, if you ever decide it's necessary.
So what do I do with this now?
Well, Green Bean, first you find a couple of other people you really trust and have them look at it so they can make suggestions for improving it. Then you have them sign it. Then make copies for your counselor and doctor and anyone else you trust so they can make sure it gets to the hospital, if you ever go back.
Gee whiz, you were a big help. Thanks a lot.
Well, Green Bean, just doing my job. So just remember, if you want to have a say in your mental health decisions, get yourself an advance directive. It might be the most important decision you'll ever make.
Story problem number 39. Affluenza is a condition of American lifestyle. It afflicts the middle and lower classes. Hoping to realize the American dream. Yes, the American dream. Which of the following are symptoms of this debilitating syndrome? A. Shopping as a family outing. B. spending 50% of your income to appear wealthy. C. Relieving your anxiety through the power of purchasing crap. D. Getting that new coat at the Gap instead of paying the electric bill that is now on a 30-day shut-off notice. Who does that? E. Seeing a slim, beautiful woman in a glamour magazine, then feeling depressed because you are not her, then planning on buying that hairstyling gel found on the next page so that you'll feel better. Yes. F. Throwing away a long-lived relationship just like those jeans that just don't fit anymore. Yeah. G. Buying lots of crap so you look like the rich and famous, but never becoming rich because you keep spending your money on all that crap. H. Never fully understanding the concept of sustainable living, community garden, rainy day fund, or why bling bling is very, very bad.
Button.
Okay?
I can't.
And they force consumers into a private legal system that often sides with companies, operates outside the law, and arbitrators don't have to use legal precedent or even fairness in their rulings, and you can't appeal them. Okay?
Okay.
BMACs are loved by shady mortgage brokers, malfeasant HMOs, selective employers, credit card companies, and evil car sales businessmen. Yes. BMACs prohibit class actions, are held in locations inconvenient to the consumers, allow one-way lawsuits, and are kept secret. Okay? Upfront arbitration filing fees run $750 or more, including half of the arbitrator's hourly charge, and can run into the tens of thousands of dollars. Arbitrators are often corporate lackeys, since businesses are repeat customers and have an incentive to rule in favor of the corporation. These binding mandatory arbitration clauses are the stealth weapon of corporations that seek to escape being held accountable in a neutral forum.
The audience is sleeping.
Sorry. So,
No, not because of you.
sorry.
It's the weather. It's not you, Dan.
Exactly.
It's the heat.
Okay, so do you guys know what a
It's like
BMAC
what?
is?
70 degrees out.
No, do you know what a BMAC is?
BMAC. Isn't that a computer?
Okay, I'm
that's
a
an
corporation.
iMac.
You want to work for me, right? You want to work for me?
You're
Okay.
the big boss dude.
Okay.
Big Mac.
So in order
Hi,
to
Big
work for
Mac.
me, here, you sign this thing. So you sign the thing and you sign the thing.
I need a pen.
And there's a BMAC in it.
Okay.
Which
A
means
BMAC.
that if I screw you on the job, if I harass you, if I
screws
don't
us?
pay you what I owe
Ah,
you,
no.
if I make you work in,
Hey, this is all free
dangerous
crap, you know.
or toxic working conditions,
Yeah.
and you say, I quit and I'm
I
going
guess
to
it is
sue
kind of
you.
toxic when you have
Pardon?
gas, but whatever.
Yeah, it can be. You got a room full of farting people, you need to get air, literally, because there's a lot
Our
of
whole
sulfur
house is full of
dioxide.
farting people.
Well, you need to get lots of air because there's a lot of carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide in there, and that's not real healthy to breathe in
Oh,
a
no.
closed thing. So what happens is you guys got your BMAC contracts, and I can do anything I want. You can't sue me. You have to
Yeah.
go to an arbitrator, and the arbitrator just rules the way they want to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you're screwed, and then
Pretty
you're
much,
screwed,
yeah.
and then you're screwed again. And you can't appeal, you can't
And the
complain,
dog.
you can't do anything,
he farts
because if you do,
Yeah.
you'll be sued
Nasty.
because you signed a BMAC. So the
I don't
next
like that,
time,
man.
the next time someone says sign here, read the frickin' thing.
And the little print, too.
And if you see binding mandatory arbitration,
Those are bad words.
don't sign it.
Don't sign that.
Don't
No.
sign it. Even if you really need it, don't do it, because that's
Okay.
Just say no, like drugs.
you'll be
You say no to
screwed.
drugs? What? Since when?
I've always said no to drugs.
Hi, welcome to story problem number 40. Little Jimmy is on SSI, also known as Supplemental Security Income, a federal entitlement of $579 each month. That's real. There are people on SSI and that's how much they get. Okay, depending on the state and county, this is somewhere between 50 and 500% below poverty level. Little Jimmy survives with the help of A, A housing subsidy from HUD, which reduces his rent by about 60%. B, a monthly allotment of food stamps, depending on what his rent is and stuff. C, receipt of Medicaid against otherwise impossibly expensive health care bills. He is, after all, disabled. D, the local food bank, which serves stale bread, overripe fruits and vegetables, and 1,000 cans of lima beans. Yeah. E, the local dollar store serving a plethora of household goods and items, also, not surprisingly, found at Target and Walmart for triple the price. F, not going on vacation, out to movies, out to eat, owning a car, buying new clothes, or getting an expensive girlfriend that likes the bling bling. Or G, all of the above.
I say yes to alcohol. Don't do
Because
drugs.
you're not a quitter.
Yeah. I won't quit on that alcohol. This is wrong.
Yes. Okay. This one
Hey,
is...
I've never had a drink be mean to me, okay? I'm hoping me did.
They never quit on me. They've never failed me, Dan.
The
Yeah.
7th or the 8th one is often not so kind.
The 12th and the 15th one's good.
Yeah.
Jello's not always kind either.
What?
Jello is not
Jello
always
shots?
kind. Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, reminds me of Friday night. Ooh, okay, anyway.
Okay. This one is by Associated Press, original author Peter Jackson, and it's from 04, 05? What's the 4th month? Is that
What?
April? April of
Yeah, April.
this year. April of
Of
05.
this year.
Okay. The state's top the state's top pharmacist, Steve Aurelio, repeatedly took money from the drug. Not this state, it's a different state, but I'll explain. He repeatedly took money from the drug maker Pfizer and other outside
Pfizer.
sources as far back as 1998,
I've seen that one
violating
before,
ethics
Pfizer.
laws a government panel had found.
Yeah.
So the State Ethics Commission fined him more than $27,000 for 20 separate violations and referred to the case to the State Attorney General's office for possible
Yeah.
criminal prosecution. He served on a panel that decides which medications should be given to patients at the 9 state mental hospitals while simultaneously serving as a member of Pfizer's Advisory Council. Isn't that exciting? The council met annually to solicit input from healthcare professionals to help Pfizer define its commercial strategies for its products. So they used people that were on public officials. They took public officials and they drilled them for information on how best to manipulate crazy people, such as myself. The report also cited repeated failures to disclose income from Pfizer and other outside sources. Aurelio, 58, apologized in a statement, and then he said, although I do not necessarily agree with the findings. In
Yeah, I don't
1999,
agree.
he teamed up with Pfizer official on a state-financed study of antidepressants that showed Zoloft, a Pfizer product, to be among the least expensive drugs of that type, according to the commission. Aurelio later received 2 $1,000 payments from Pfizer to present this study. This comes from I think Vermont or Connecticut or something.
Oh, no wonder.
Somewhere back east.
Vermont.
Yeah, it wasn't here in Washington.
That's like far away.
Okay, once again we have a conflict of interest when you have one job that is directly the opposite of the other job, and the one job ends up screwing the other job. It's like you can't wear two
Charles can
hats.
screw.
Some do. Being a prostitute. Being a pimp.
Yeah, that would do it. Yep.
The audience got scared.
Okay. Story problem number 41. Reverend Felicius is the leader of the Christian hypocrisy movement. He decries his naysayers by claiming that they are filled with the great Satan and are also of the devil. Of the possible answers below, find the one statement that is not oxymoronic, self-contradictory, or just blatantly false. One point or item. It is okay to lie for a good cause. It is okay to kill someone that is evil. We should back our leaders even when they are wrong. Or, a million Christians can't be wrong. Or, the force of freedom. Force? Freedom? Force of freedom? Freedom force? Force? Every religion observes the 10 Commandments. Think about that one. Bad things happen because of bad choices. Yeah. Rich people are rich because God has blessed them with money. Poverty and ignorance are due to sin and wickedness. Are you sure about that? People always learn through punishment. Yeah. Or do they? Going to church makes you a good person. Does it? Material wealth is a sign of righteousness. Yeah. Okay. Sadness is punishment from God. Jesus was a liberal. Okay, this is a snippet from the little short story or short essay called The Hidden Side of Psychiatry by Gary Null, PhD.
Yeah, it's flashing.
Is it flashing?
Yes.
Oh man, we have 5 minutes left.
No, we don't. We have less than 5
See?
minutes.
No, it says 5 minutes.
No.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. That's
We have
okay.
5
Go,
minutes.
go,
We
go,
have
go,
less than that.
Fraudulent Practices and Mental Health by Sharkey Bedlam. There's a book called Bedlam, so you should read it. It's very interesting. Okay? Good example of fraud in the mental health industry is a recent legal problem of a corporate chain of psychiatric hospitals known as the National Medical Enterprises, or NME. As reported in the book
It's
Bedlam,
me,
in
NMS.
1993, the FBI raided NME facilities in half a dozen southern states, including an estimated 130 patient lawsuits and this includes, or including with the situation, I guess, I'm not sure I wrote that funny, an estimated 130 patient lawsuits and three lawsuits by insurance companies for fraud. They're suing this National Medical Enterprises. Yeah. These suits identify more than $1 billion in claims paid to NME's psychiatric hospitals. All told, NME's settlements and fines have totaled $927 million. The investigation uncovered systemic fraud, blah, 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 blah.
2.5.
Okay, here's the deal. We all think that people on
That's a bummer.
SSI or Medicare or whatever, we all think of them as defrauding the system, right?
I'm gonna go
Taking
into my
advantage of the
pager.
system. Okay? We all think this happens. Okay, and what they're literally doing is they're defrauding the system for about $1,000 a month. Whereas these big
$1,000?
corporations that falsely bill and they falsely charge and they double bill and they charge, for instance, the company will charge you and they will charge Medicaid when they're not supposed to charge, they're only supposed to charge one. And they make billions and billions, not just $1,000 a month, but hundreds of thousands a month. And corporations do this and they get off scot-free because there is very, very little in the way of machinery devoted to finding corporations that defraud as opposed to individuals. You look in the phone book and you'll find consumer fraud thing, and this is fraud from consumers. But corporations commit as much or more fraud than consumers because they know there's fewer watchdogs and there's no laws to protect whistleblowers. The same kind of bilking people, companies, and government goes on today. This is why we have regulations. The next time you hear some corporate Republican telling you that the laws are outdated or that regulations are hampering business, just say the word, freedom isn't free, man.
Dan, I learned a new trick.
Yeah, so we're pretty much...
I learned a new trick, watch.
You did?
Look at my eyes. Look at you, my eyes.
Oh, look at the camera.
Look at you, my eyes. Look at you, my eyes.
That's just creepy, man.
Trust in me.
I'm the puppet.
Okay. Welcome to story problem number 42. Granny Two Guns has worked hard all of her life and saved her money and stuff. She has been employed by the mega corporation Enron for years and has built up a substantial retirement savings. Granny is thinking about investing some of her savings into the stock market. Now, if Granny succumbs to this temptation, calculate the odds that Granny will be taken to the cleaners. And I don't mean the stock market cleaners either. A. There's a 32% chance that her investment portfolio will plummet in value the next time George Bush tries to reform something. B. There's a 73% chance that her investment portfolio will be devalued the next time that Ellen Greenspan says, "Bull." C. There's a 48% chance that her money will go south when the president declares war on another idea or technique. D. There is a 95% chance that her investments will become worthless when several key companies restate their earnings, declare bankruptcy, default on their pension contributions, all the while the executives run off to Bermuda. So my voice is about out. So that's it. I have a few more news bullets, but no time to tell you them.
I want to wiggle my nose like I'm bewitched.
Okay, wiggle your nose.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
That's not right. I need a close up look. It's wiggling.
Okay,
It's
so
wiggling.
by the time you watch this, when this airs, people with mental illnesses will be poor. They will be getting less Medicaid, less food stamps, and less subsidies in their housing. That's because our
that's a
wonderful
bummer.
conservative administration
Rich people need to get richer.
is
Yeah, exactly.
chopping them out.
That they are.
That's right. And the reason is they really, really hate people that are disabled and poor.
Let's go.
If they didn't hate them, they wouldn't be doing that to them now, would they?
They'd help them.
That's right. They would help them instead of cutting them off.
That's right.
Chop, chop, chop. So, have a wonderful, have a wonderful day, and just remember, if there's toothpaste in your shoes,
The
that
dog
means
did.
you really
Do the
made
Carlton.
the little elves angry.
Do the Carlton.
Oh yeah.
Okay, what's the car?
Second Bush dynasty, citizens braced for an attack from the unknown. They willingly gave up their freedoms for a false sense of security, and their corporate masters used this fear to sell them hope. The Homeland Security Bureau, also known as the American KGB, has declared a nationwide red alert. A non-Christian cell of terror suspects have been rumored to be lurking somewhere in Florida or possibly Texas. Martial law grips the land. The Secret Service police have arrested all known dissidents and are now rounding up atheists, homeless children, and especially liberals. A terrorist attack could happen anywhere at any time. Meanwhile, the goon squad and the fire brigade must battle to see who will dominate the streets and face the possible would-be attackers that could be lurking somewhere. The two leaders gathered their loyal followers. Each rallied their troops with propaganda. Each demonized the other with the standard rhetoric as set forth in the ancient tome translated as "My struggle." The terrorists are hiding among us. They could be anyone, anywhere. They could be waiting, ready to detonate their bombs. So do not hesitate to take out any target that looks like it might be a threat. We operate from a higher authority now that the president has declared martial law. The citizens have given up their freedom in exchange for security. We will do whatever is needed to control the streets. There's only one thing that stands in our way: the fire brigade. They call themselves patriots and protectors, but truly they are demons of hellfire. They are rapists and murderers and cannibals and baby killers. They are responsible for all the burning buildings over the country and even the forest fires. They say they are first responders in case of a terrorist attack, but we know better. We know they are the terrorists. We are faced with an enemy so vile and wicked that they can scarcely be called human beings. We are challenged by the fact that our enemy has fooled the citizens into thinking they exist to protect them. The people are sheep and must be treated as such. They rely on us to protect them from wolves in sheep's clothing. The fire brigade threatens our way of existence. They are likely in league with the terrorists, or probably the terrorists themselves. Now, men, let's go get them. Rah!
The terrorists threaten our very way of life. They threaten our oil refineries, banks, and other corporate structures. Oh yeah, and the little people too. We could save the day if it were not for the goon squad, those goose-stepping, gun-toting control freaks. They are scarcely human at all. That is why they are so very dangerous. The goon squad may be secretly planning with the terrorists to destroy our economy. Now, martial law rules the land. We can do what we want. We will make the preemptive attack and take out the goon squad before they make good on any possible threat that they might be considering, because they could be just as dangerous as the terrorists themselves. After all, if you're not with us, you're with the terrorists, right? We are faced with an enemy so vile and wicked that they can be scarcely called human beings at all. We are challenged by the fact that our enemy has fooled the citizens into thinking they exist to protect them. The people are sheep and must be treated as such. They rely on us to protect them from the wolves in sheep's clothing. The goon squad threatens our way of existence now. They are likely in league with the terrorists, and therefore they must be destroyed. Let's go get them. Destroy them! and the fire brigade destroyed each other in an orgy of testosterone-induced territorialism. Both sides were destroyed, except of course for the two leaders who ran away and went into hiding. All of the emergency first responders were gone. There was no one left to respond to a threat that never came. There was no one left to threaten citizens who questioned authority. The fascists were gone and were replaced later by actual peace officers and firefighters. The moral of this story is, be nice.